Hi guys, Verda here. I'm here with another experiment for us to play with. So what I'm trying to do is I have a letter sized cardstock here. This is Hammermill cardstock, which is apparently good for hot foiling, and I might want to put sentiments on these cards which are hot foiled. So that's why I picked up this cardstock, and it's letter sized 8.5 by 11 inches. I'm going to cut it in such a way that I can make 3 cards out of it. 2 cards that are mini slimline size, 6 by 3.5. I think it should be 6.5 by 3.5 to be more precise or something. I'm going to go with 6 because the way I'm going to fold this, I'm going to use pattern paper, which is 6 by 6 pattern paper pads, to make up for the difference in the size of the card. So that's why I'm going to keep it at 6 and 3.5. And then I'm going to create one more card which is 4.25 by 5. So let's get started. So the first step, what I'm going to do is my blades on these are giving me some trouble. So what I want to do is I have these blades from Spellbinders. They come in a pack of 2, one for paper and one for foil. I'm going to use this to cut the one for paper. I mean, this is the one for paper. I'm going to use it to do my cutting today. Sorry, I don't think I can speak today properly anyways. So this is what, here we go. I'm going to cut at 6 inches. That should give me 6 inches, and this should be 5 inches. When I fold this, this will be the 4.25 by 5 card. And this I'm going to further cut it into half. This is 8.5. I'm going to cut it into half, that is 4.25. And then I'm going to fold it in such a way and then add 6 by 6 pattern paper to make the finished card size. I'm going to fold this at 3.5. So this, along with the pattern paper strip over here, will become my 3.5 by 6 mini slimline card. And then this one also, I'm going to fold it at 3.5. So these 2 card bases, and this one I can just fold it like that. And this is going to be my third card base, which is 4.25 by 5 inches. For the first card, what we are trying to do is we are going to get a pattern paper which has horizontal pattern. I'm going to make this a landscape card, landscape mini slimline card. And out of there are 4 stripes on this pattern paper, each of them with a Christmas or North Pole Santa kind of a scene. I'm cutting out about 2 of them and trying to make sure the measurement is right. I already have a hinge on that card base, so I want this, whatever pattern I'm adding, to cover the remaining part of this card's height or width, or whichever way you look at it. So the portrait side of it, the shorter side of it, is what I want the card to cover, the 2 stripes to cover. The other side is already 6 inches. So um, and I don't want it to look like just a hinge, so I'm giving it a little bit of interest with this designer scissors, so to say. I found an old collection that I think one of my neighbors had kindly gifted it to my girls. So I borrowed them and I created a hinge that is now having some kind of a decorative edge. Um, then just add a strong double-sided tape and make sure you align it to the outside edge and fold it over so that you have a card with the decorated hinge at the top and like a snow falling background at the bottom, and when you open it you'll have two winter wonderland kind of scenes. I tried to attach the Santa picture that I picked up is a sticker. I tried to attach it directly, but it was looking too flat for me. I like a little more dimension on my cards. So I went with this double sided tape. There are some very narrow areas in there, so I made sure I cut them out and cut into slimmer sizes and whatever. You see that foam tape surgery I'm performing on the back of this sticker. Now if I go ahead and attach it as it is, it's going to stick in places where I don't want it to, because the paper itself is sticky, right? It's a sticker. So in addition to the foam tape, it will try to stick in the places where there is no foam tape. So I ran my powder tool, the one we use for heat embossing. I ran it on the non-opened portion of that sticker. That way the actual places where I want it to stick is not going to be impacted, but rest of it will not have any stick. Then I had a hair length on the side of that card which I wanted to remove, so I did that, peeled off all the foam tape backing papers, and now I'm ready to stick it. I wanted my card to stay flat, so I added a little bit of weight with the two scissors on either side, and now I'm attaching my Santa with his reindeers. And finally I picked up one ho 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 sentiment sticker that is in matching red and gold color, giving it a banner edge. And on the back of this one also I'll add a little bit of a foam tape and put it in one of the corners to look like, okay, it is Santa who is laughing. Ho ho ho. I mean, come on, you can't put ho 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 in front of the reindeers, can you? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it right next to where the Santa's face is. And I think that should do. That should be my card. Very easy peasy. The important thing is the pattern paper I used is pretty thick, so I was able to pull it off. It's not a thin paper, um, and the first card is complete just like that. For the second card I'm using the exact same technique, but this time I'm making a portrait card, and this time the pieces I have picked up in addition to the pattern paper are not stickers. They are just ephemera pieces from older spellbinder kits. What I'm going to do is, after giving it that decorative edge, I'm going to get my guillotine trimmer and um, measure exactly how much I want that pattern paper to be and cut it out exactly with that measurement. And then all that is left to do is adhere with some flat and some dimensional adhesive my pattern paper to the card base, and then the Santa and the gift on top. The Santa and the gift I first attached to each other with the liquid glue that you see on the side. Somehow my camera stopped recording, but I was able to then realize the mistake and resume recording. So that's what I did. I attached the two pieces together. They're almost lying snug with each other, like they're flat with each other. So I'm just going ahead and adding foam tape all around wherever um, the either the Santa or the gift is, and I'll attach that to one of the sides. So this way here my pattern paper has pattern and the word joy to the world. So I'm not adding any other sentiment here. Everything is only on the front. On the inside it's just abstract kind of a blue lines pattern. It doesn't look bad, but it's just that unlike the previous card, this card is just having an abstract pattern in the inside, on the inside. So that's card number 2. The last card that we have to make is 4.5 by 5. I have these square nested dies from waffle flower, where the largest square is 4.5. However, I want the height to be 5. So I'm going to do partial die cutting on either side. I attached my die to the bottom of my design, but I won't cut it all the way through. I'll cut it only up to the top of those houses. So that I put my top plate in such a way that it covers only till the top of the houses, and then next I put my card base and the die together to measure exactly where I want the other side to be cut, and lined it up with the already cut piece just like a puzzle. It slides right in, the die edges will slide right in, but that way I can go all the way to the top of the card base, and just with two passes of this die, this square die, I actually created a rectangle. That's it, nothing else. I just have to adhere this to the card front, because the pattern paper has it all. It has Santa, it has the houses, it has a sentiment, Santa Claus is coming to town. There is nothing else for me to add. So I'm just going to add double-sided strong tape and attach the whole scene to the card front and call it done. This is probably the quickest card to ever get created, and I love pattern papers like this where the entire scene is created and I can do some little bit of creative die cutting, not some terribly complicated technique, but my entire card front is just one beautiful scene. So there you go. This is the third, and this card is just a normal white card on the inside. There is no pattern paper that is showing on the inside. When I had cut it, it had that little hair line out of balance kind of a thing. That's what I cut it off. So that is the third card. Here are the final three cards using a single sheet of letter size cardstock and several pattern papers and stickers. No stamping, hardly any die cutting. I hope you will give this idea a try. And if you find this worth sharing with other people, please click on the like button and share with your friends. Also, please subscribe to my channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much and happy crafting.